And welcome back to my channel.
With Tony Geptus, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 on 1380 Action News.
Enjoy listening to the
ABC's must-see new drama
news while I'm playing.
Your odds of getting my attention were slim and you did it. And it's going to fit right in with your Thursday
As you can
night
see, we're
bangs.
imposter. I was trying to save my voice today, so I'm not going to do much talking.
Do you have home remodeling skills? Can you install bathrooms? You make $40 an hour. That's $70,000 a year. At Clean and New Bath, our business is better than ever. We have an immediate need for bathroom installers. Go to workfortony.com and apply today.
Stylish Home Furniture now has a new Oregon location you're going to want to check out. We have thousands of items for you to choose from, and you can take it home today. Need a new leather sofa or love seat? Take it home today. Need a new dining room set? Take it home today. Recliner? Take it home today. And with new, beautiful, unique items added to our showroom every day, every visit is like a new adventure. So stop by Stylish Home on Reynolds Road in Toledo or Navarre Avenue in Oregon.
This Rally's Candy Bacon Mother Cruncher Chicken Sandwich is for Erin. She's been parking sweet rides. So Rally's added some sweet candy bacon and onion tanglers just for her. Fuel up with that Candy Bacon Mother Cruncher, Erin. You've earned it. Free delivery fee when you use our new rewards app.
It's a fact. We use our internet and TV more than ever, with most of us spending nearly 7 hours a day online. So it's no wonder thousands of families are switching to Spectrum. Because most families have up to 8 connected devices.
Okay, I'm moving around just because that's ridiculous.
Switch to Spectrum Internet and get the fastest starting speeds for the price. 100 megabits for just $44.99 a month. With a free modem and free security suite included. Call 833-621-4499. When it comes to TV, we're watching more than ever. In fact,
see guys, this is how it always works. I get voted out. Didn't do a thing wrong. This is why I never get to play imposter very long, because I always get voted out for the dumbest things that I didn't do. And you saw me, I was not even near that.
The fact is, Spectrum has the best services at the best price. Switch to Spectrum Internet and TV from $44.99 a month each with
sorry, I mean done around.
Buy out your current contract. 833-621-4499. Action News is what we do. This is home, is why we do it. Tonight, for the first time, we hear from one of the jurors in that courtroom for the Chauvin trial. One of the two alternate jurors describing what it was like to listen to the evidence, to see the video over and over again, making eye contact with the former officer, and who she thought was the pivotal witness in the trial before Chauvin was found guilty on all 3 charges. The other major headline tonight, the coronavirus in the U.S. Tonight, the CDC acknowledging it is now looking at its mask guidelines. Could there be changes? What we've learned on that front. And the future of the Johnson & Johnson one-shot vaccine here in the U.S. On this first day,
go for it. Go for it out.
with world leaders and the president's new pledge to cut carbon emissions in the U.S. in half by 2030. Harry Bruce tonight pressing the White House. What will this mean for daily life in America? And climate tonight and its role in what we've witnessed on the southern border. Tonight, our team and what's called the Northern Triangle and what they find, the children and what they're surviving on. It's not just violence and cratering economies, it's climate, the severe drought. And Matt Guffin tonight and why so many parents there are willing to give up everything they have to send their children on that dangerous journey. Tonight, the missing submarine, the U.S. says it is standing by to help. 53 sailors on board, less than 24 hours, it's believed, until their oxygen runs out. Martha Raddatz standing by with late reporting. In New York City tonight, news on the failed subway bomber, the judge using the words barbaric and heinous. Tracking severe storms and record cold, damaging winds, large hail, possible tornadoes in several states, and the frigid air in the Northeast. And on this Earth Day, the view from the ocean, the whales, their behavioral patterns, the mother whale teaching her baby how to speak. And you will hear tonight how they communicate. And as we celebrate Earth, the news from Mars tonight, that NASA helicopter, the newer, longer flight tonight, and what they just made out of thin air.
I think O2 is harder because they have to separate.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir. Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Thursday night. News on the virus tonight. Could there be changes coming on masks from the CDC? And could there soon be a potential warning on the one-shot vaccine here in the U.S.? But we do begin tonight with the first juror to speak, one of two alternate jurors who was in that courtroom for the trial of former police officer
Yeah, don't
Derek
kill the
Chauvin,
yellow.
describing
They're
what it
sus.
was like, the evidence, the video, and who she says was the pivotal witness. Of course, Derek Chauvin convicted on all three counts. Lisa Christensen speaking out for the first time. As an alternate, she did not deliberate with the jury, but she was there the entire time in that courtroom. And it's the first sense of what it was like for the jury to sit through this, to endure this up close, as both sides made their case, knowing the country and the world was watching. And that
There you go.
alternate
Good job.
juror says what she did not understand was, quote, how we got from the $20 bill to
Maybe.
losing a life. ABC Stephanie Ramos leading us off tonight from Minnesota.
Tonight, an alternate juror in the trial of Derek Chauvin is speaking out.
I didn't think it would affect me as much as it has. It was emotional. It was draining.
For Lisa Christensen, the hours of evidence, the videos of Derek Chauvin interacting with George Floyd are still seared into her mind.
It was overwhelming, and then to see it day after day, over and over again, it never got any easier.
Christensen saying she sat across from Chauvin in the courtroom.
I did lock eyes with him a couple of times, and it was a little uncomfortable. No intent on any messages or anything going back and forth.
And in her mind, the most essential witness was Dr. Chauvin.
I feel like he could actually point out going through the video and saying, hey, at this instance right here is when Mr. Floyd lost his life.
After hearing testimony from 45 witnesses, she says she had come to an opinion, but as an alternate, she was not present for the jury's deliberations.
My opinion was that I felt Mr. Chauvin was guilty at some level, but without applying the instructions, I don't know what I would have decided upon it.
And then there was the verdict.
We, the jury, in the above entitled matter, as to count 1, unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony, find the defendant guilty.
And while she felt that Chauvin was guilty at some level, she was surprised that he was found guilty on all 3 charges.
I was amazed that it was guilty on all 3 charges.
Christensen says she has yet to visit the memorial at George Floyd Square.
At some point, I would like to go down there. It would be my closure and
Tell Mr.
George Floyd, hopefully we made him proud.
Last week, just 15
Come on,
miles away
breakfast.
from that square,
Play.
George Floyd was killed. 20-year-old
Okay, I guess you could do that. Kill White, though. You should kill White. No, you shouldn't. Never mind. I'm just full of it.
The young father eulogized by the Reverend Al Sharpton.
You thought he was just some kid with air freshener. He was a prince. And all of Minneapolis.
What do you guys think? Go to your lights.
To honor the prince of Brooklyn Center.
His parents saying goodbye to their beloved son.
My son should be burying me. He was loved by so many. He's gonna be so missed.
Yes. Oh, no, not good. Not good. Ah, black. Why did you do that right behind him? I thought, I didn't see green. Maybe he didn't either, but probably no green was in your eye.
Well, David, that former Brooklyn Center police officer who shot and killed Dante Wright on this street behind me, where you see that growing memorial, she was charged with second-degree manslaughter and is scheduled to appear in court again next month. Dante's family says, though, at this point, there is no justice, only accountability. David.
All right, Stephanie Ramos tonight. Thank you, Steph. We turn to other news this Thursday night to the coronavirus here in the U.S. and that high-stakes meeting tomorrow with the CDC.
I'm not sure if it's required. I don't know all the rules and stuff, but I do not own any rights to anything that's being broadcasted on World News Tonight, just so it's officially out there. Not sponsored, whatever I have to say. Just enjoy listening to it, because I'm not really in a talking mood.
The daily average number of shots has now fallen below 3 million a day. That's the first time in weeks. And authorities say that
Oh my gosh, it's food.
hesitancy in folks who have yet to get the shot. 134,286,000 people have received at least one dose. 52% of all adults now. And tonight, the CDC acknowledging that it is now looking again at its mask guidelines. So could there be changes there? And news on cases of the virus even after getting the vaccine, what are called breakthrough infections. And there's some encouraging news on that front.
Oh my gosh.
Your national correspondent Steve Osinsambi from the CDC in Atlanta.
Any future use
Wow,
Johnson &
why did-
Johnson COVID vaccine
how did we
will be
win
decided
that?
tomorrow by a CDC advisory panel. Because it's a single shot, it's become an important
Um,
tool in fighting the coronavirus.
We
okay.
need to make a decision quickly, and I'm really hopeful that we'll be able to use
Okay.
the vaccine
See,
soon.
wins that we shouldn't be winning. That's how I win. I get also get voted off for no reason.
Develop rare blood clots after getting the shot. Tomorrow, they could continue with that hold or join health officials in Europe, who just days ago decided that the benefits outweigh the risks and have cleared the vaccine to be used with a safety warning. Across the country, it appears fewer people are rushing to get in line, with thousands of appointments sitting empty and some vaccination places shutting down.
When 16 and older opened, I did expect a rush.
Okay, as you guys can see, kill cooldown, taskbar is always going to update, but visuals are off. So visuals is such as like the body scan doesn't show up.
Hesitancy or concern that we need to address. The scientists have put together this map. The areas in darker blue show where Americans are resisting the vaccine the most. In Boston, they're trying hard to get black and brown communities vaccinated, setting aside 20,000 doses.
We know the Latinx Hispanic community is lagging behind. We need to share information. We need to make it easy for them to make an appointment to get vaccinated, and that's what we're doing.
With more Americans getting more immune, there's a new debate over rules requiring face masks. In New York City, for example.
If you want to get rid of the masks, if you want to get rid of the social distancing, if you want to get rid of the restrictions, go get vaccinated.
Scientists at the CDC announced that they might actually revisit their guidelines
Excuse me.
on outdoor masks.
We will be looking at the outdoor masking question, but it's also in the context of the fact that we still have people who are dying of COVID.
So we'll wait for more guidance on that. In the meantime, Steve, the CDC director today also talked about what we're seeing is people in this country who've been vaccinated and then still became infected with the virus. Very rare cases, but they were actually encouraged by what they're seeing as far as symptoms.
That's right, David. There's a bit of discussion about what they're calling breakthrough infections. And those are infections that tackle people who already been vaccinated. CDC says that their studies show that if you get one of these infections and you've been vaccinated, that your symptoms will most likely be milder and you are less likely to spread the disease to someone else. David?
And that is good news. All right, Steve.
Excuse me again.
Tonight, on this Earth Day, President Biden is making news. His summit with world leaders and the president pledging to cut carbon emissions here in the U.S. by 50% in less than a decade by 2030 and to reach zero net emissions by 2050. That pledge at the start of this two-day climate summit with 40 world leaders, including China's Xi Jinping and Russia's Vladimir Putin. Biden calling it a moral imperative. He said it also is an opportunity to create millions of new jobs. Here's our senior White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, tonight.
In a sharp departure from the previous administration, President Biden today sending a clear message to the world on climate change, saying America is back.
The cost of inaction just keeps mounting. The United States isn't waiting. We are resolving to take action.
Calling it a moral imperative, Biden announcing a new lofty goal to cut
I don't
carbon
know.
emissions from record high 2005 levels in half by the end of the decade. The target to reach net zero emissions by 2050.
This is the decade we must make decisions that will avoid the worst consequences of the climate crisis.
Biden today hosting a virtual summit with world leaders, putting to the test his hope that he can collaborate
Excuse
on
me again.
rivals like Russia and China. But the White House has been short on specifics for how they'll meet this new emissions goal.
Can you put this into further perspective for Americans? How does this new
Dun dun dun.
impact their everyday lives?
There are steps that industry
We had one imposter that time.
investing in the future of electric vehicles. This is already where the jobs are in the future.
While the president hopes to make some of this a reality through executive actions and his proposed $2 trillion infrastructure plan, if Congress doesn't act...
Guys, I'm having the best moment ever. I'm playing a game, relaxing. I have noise in the background that I'm drowning out, but I have a kitten on my lap. That is right, I have Sophie the cat on my lap. But we don't call her a cat, we call her a kitten. And she's so sweet. She's been getting on my lap again lately. She hasn't been on my lap for, it feels like forever. The last couple of nights she's been on my lap. It's so sweet.
Accountable to reaching these new targets, something that the White House says they hope will come out of a new summit this fall in Glasgow. David.
Sorry, Mary Bruce, live at the White House tonight. Mary, thank you. And with the president and this summit with world leaders tonight, climate and its role in what we've witnessed on the southern border here in the U.S. Tonight, our team in what's called the Northern Triangle, and what they found, the children, and what they're surviving on. It's not just violence and cratering economies, it's climate, the severe drought. Tonight, Pat Duffin from Guatemala on why so many parents there are willing to give up
Don't kill
everything they
me.
have to send their children on that dangerous journey.
Roads as unforgiving as the soil here, a clump of houses clings to the mountainside. And there we meet Isabel Fernandez Lopez. He shows us his mud hut, the beans simmering in the
Oh my
pot.
goodness, come on.
It's their food for the next 24 hours. Lopez tells me he has 10 children, and before the droughts came and the crops failed, his little farm here yielded enough beans and corn to feed the family. These days it offers only hunger.
Salud tenemos, pero dinero para comprar la comida no tenemos.
What you're seeing across this hillside is the failure of yet another crop. Corn here, which is the staple, what people eat, has failed for 2 consecutive seasons. It means people here do not have enough to eat. And it's not just on this one hillside, but right across these entire valleys, millions of acres, and it's prompting hundreds of thousands of people to leave.
We were in a village outside Bogota, but this once fertile area straddling Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras is called the Dry Corridor. The climate here changing permanently, and you can see it in the soil.
Creo que en menos de 20 años vamos a tener totalmente un área declarada como desértica, totalmente desértica en términos de que los suelos no son productivos.
In menos de 20
En
años,
menos de 20 años,
droughts coupled with a pair of hurricanes that battered the area helped spur 3.5 million people from the Dry Corridor
Yeah, I'm
head
gonna
towards
skip.
the United States. Lopez's eldest son among them, and Lopez has done everything that is dear to send his boy, who arrived 2 weeks ago.
¿Cuánto costan los coyotes para un viaje? De 100,000 para adelante. ¿Qué vas a hacer si tu hijo no puede bajar dinero? Si nosotros no conseguimos el dinero para pagar, entregar el terrenito o la casa.
The growth of nearly half of the children in Guatemala is stunted because of malnutrition, and it was often during
Oh my gosh.
the mountain where we found children
Don't know why
moving
I'm
the sheds, using their
wires
sledges to
illiterate
break
right
down
now.
unripened mangoes for his lunch.
Para cena. ¿Tortilla, solo tortilla? ¿Por algo o solamente tortilla? Con sal? So, Elsa's 11, Elise
Right
is
on.
12, and
Oh.
they are about to pass
If
my
you're a
6-year-old.
imposter and you know it, clap
These
your
children
hands,
tell me
clap.
that none of them have ever tasted meat or chicken.
Matt Duffin with us tonight from Guatemala City. You can see the presidential palace right there behind him. And Matt, we know Vice President Kamala Harris is set to meet virtually with Guatemala's president next week. That she plans to travel to the region as well.
Why waste a button for that other than you're being funny? Ha 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 ha. But
Monday, David. In the coming weeks in June, she'll be here in Central America, and the focus is going to be on stemming the flow of migration by investing in Central America. The president
oh, Sophie sees a bird outside. We're sitting in front of a big picture window and she's locked her eyes on it. What did you guys think of that snow? If you're from Ohio, we got a lot of snow the other day, and it was so heavy, the wet snow was so heavy that it pulled all of my branches in my tree in the front yard down, and they were all touching the ground. And they're not unkempt. I keep them pretty taken care of, to the point where it's like they're not near my roof or anything like that. And I did a lot of cutting last year, so it shouldn't be an issue. Well, I had one big branch snap, and it was a big healthy branch too, so the weight just made it snap. And then I had to take a
After the vessel requested permission for a deeper dive to fire torpedoes for training. The submarine then went silent. A search was quickly launched, but thus far, the only possible sign of the submarine, a wide slick of oil near where it started to descend. The waters there are more than 2,000 feet deep. The submarine's crush depth is around 800 feet, meaning it may have imploded.
Anyway, I had to use the thing to get the branches to get the snow off of the weights of it, because it was blocking my driveway and I couldn't get out of my garage.
All right, our Chief Global Affairs correspondent, Mark Romanis, thank in Washington tonight after the escalating number of cases of hate involving Asian Americans across this country. Tonight, the Senate has now.
It was just interesting that we went one day good weather, and then the next day we're covered in snow, and then we have like this blizzard the next night, and then the next morning you wake up and all the snow's gone. Other than like a couple of big piles of snow scattered around, you wouldn't even know if we had snow the other day, other than it's chilly. Imposter, we're done.
These are real people.
Black and blue.
Got their eczema
Makes
under
sense.
control. With less eczema, you can show more skin. So roll up those sleeves and help heal your skin from within with Dupixent. Dupixent is the first treatment of its kind that continuously treats moderate to severe eczema or atopic dermatitis, even between flare-ups. Dupixent is a biologic and not a cream or steroid. Many people taking Dupixent saw clear or almost clear skin.
He didn't clap.